Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome First Data VP Global Infrastructure Operations, Amaya Souarez.
All right, well, wow. This is really exciting and terrifying. I'm sure you can appreciate that. Did you love the video at the beginning of the band? I loved it. The one thing I noticed was there was no keyboard player, okay? I'm a former keyboard player, so it always strikes me, but maybe Mark will think about that, get a keyboard player out there next time. Well, I'm happy to be here and spend a little bit of time to talk to you about First Data, what we do, and our technology transformation. First Data is not a household name. In fact, when I first interviewed with the company, I had absolutely no idea what First Data did. And I was kind of like, what is this? You know, I spent my whole career in the internet industry, and I had no idea what First Data did or anything about technology and financial services. First Data is a company that was founded in 1971 in Omaha, Nebraska, and it was the first company to provide electronic card processing services. So today, First Data is the #1 company for card issuers in terms of processing, and the #1 for merchants in terms of processing. And I can guarantee that even though you never heard about it before, every single one of you has used our services today. Think about this. 45% of all credit and debit card transactions are processed through First Data. So what does that mean? That means if you used a card, whether it's in your mobile wallet, at an ATM machine, at the gas pump, at Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, did some mobile banking to transfer money between accounts. If you used a card 10 times today, 5 of those in all likelihood went through our back end. So what is really going on with banking? Well, we're rapidly moving towards a completely mobile experience when it comes to banking. I still remember when ATMs came out, and pretty soon there were ATMs everywhere. It was great when you're out on the weekend to take some cash out because you ran out of cash in the middle of your partying in college. Okay, so, but now look, hardly ever do we use ATMs. Most of the time, we're using a completely mobile application to either send money to our kids or our friends or donate, and so on. In fact, I was reading yesterday about a new bank, Varo Bank, that just announced that they have a preliminary approval for a banking license. They're still waiting for FDIC approval, but it's going to be the first all-mobile bank in the US. That means no branches. When it comes to payments, we've all probably used, I don't know, the Cash App, Facebook Messenger, PayPal to do person-to-person transactions. There's some new things coming out at the gas pump where you could put in a code and start your gas pump instead of having to put your card into the gas pump. All these things are transforming the industry when it comes to payment processing. Now, if you're anything like me, at this point you're wondering, wow, I wonder how many data centers they have, and you know, do they have, how many servers, and where are they located, and how many call centers do they have, how many NOCs, what's going on? So, and that's probably because I've spent my entire life on the infrastructure side of the house. So realistically, when you think about it, this is an incredibly, incredibly complex set of infrastructure. Throughout the years, and as we've expanded across the globe, the company has acquired many other payment processors, like in Greece or in the UK, and we still may even have some of their old platforms and some of their old infrastructure that we're moving off of. So it's a difficult, very difficult place to work as a technology professional. It's also extremely rewarding, and it's just super challenging. Last Friday, I was talking to a network engineer, and he said, you know, they say, you know, you're drinking from the fire hose, but it just never stops. And I said, what do you mean it never stops? He says, well, when I'm at work, I'm managing all this infrastructure, I'm submitting changes, I'm dealing with incidents, I'm working on our designs to, you know, replace the fabric in the data center. And he says, but at night, I have to study. I've got to study all this new technology, and I've got to learn new things. And I asked him, you know, what are you studying? Well, I'm studying AWS. I'm studying SaltStack. I'm studying AppViewX. I'm studying a lot of different new technology and trying to digest that, how I'm going to use it, how I'm going to transform what I do on my day-to-day job. Similarly, I was talking to one of my team members, and I try to do this. I try to talk to pretty much everybody on the team. And he said, you know, I'm loving it. I've joined this team because I wanted to learn some new tools. And I'm loving that I'm getting to learn this new tool. But it would be even better, Amaya, if I could not have to work on all the old tools that I've been supporting for 10 years. So, you know, the struggle is real. And even at a leadership level where we're trying to talk about, hey, should we do Kubernetes? Or what should we do? Should we do Pivotal Cloud Foundry? Should we do Docker? What technologies, what's our strategy going to be? If I don't educate myself, and if my peers and my boss and everyone in the technology leadership doesn't understand these technologies, we're just going to lead people over the cliff like a bunch of lemmings. For years, we've been talking about people, process, and technology. And so I propose to you that I would prefer to talk about a people-first strategy. And what's a people-first strategy? Well, that's a strategy where you put people first. And you figure out, you know, here we have this massive organization of technology professionals. How can I free up their time? If there's only 3 engineers to support, I don't know, Netcool, and they're up all night because they're on call and they have a rotation where they all have to do an on-call, you know, every 3rd week, then how are they going to have time to learn about event correlation or AI or machine learning and how they could maybe get rid of Netcool? How is that going to happen? So it has to be a strategy where you're looking at freeing up people's time. And I think it's a combination of automation, you know, putting in place runbooks, maybe hiring some managed services to do L1, anything you can do to free up people's time. And I will say, you can't hire yourself out of this problem. There's no way that you can hire yourself out of this problem. Even in the Bay Area or Seattle, I'm from Seattle, okay? So, you know, there was a point when I was at Microsoft and we were scaling from 100,000 servers to over 1 million servers. We realized we cannot hire out of this problem. We have to automate. We have to get free from the level 1 work, the level 2 work, and we have to be able to move to new technology, new approaches. So, secondly, we need to be able to have fun, okay? Have fun, get people the opportunity to have fun at work, to learn new technology. So in this regard, one of the things that we've done, that my team has sponsored, is we've had AWS come in and give workshops in Chennai, in Pune, in Omaha, Atlanta, Wilmington, Delaware, which is where I live right now. And we're also expanding that out to the UK, Germany, and to Latin America. We've also had SaltStack workshops. We've had, and these are workshops where we bring in the application teams and the infrastructure teams together just to give them an opportunity to spend a few days, 1 week, to learn a little bit about what is AWS, what are cloud services. The same with Splunk, the same with SaltStack, as we've been rolling SaltStack out across the globe. Inspire learning, that's all about you as a leader inspiring your team members to learn things. Well, that means I got to learn things. So I did take the time to do that and went and studied AWS last fall. And I'm still trying to find the time now to study Kubernetes, but we'll see how that goes. And then lastly, giving people a voice. Give people a voice. Talk to them, listen. This year, one of the big things that we did was we finally had the first ever Global Infrastructure Operations Hackathon. And at first when we sent out an announcement, we're going to do a hackathon, there was a lot of people saying like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what a hackathon is. You have to consider, even on my own team, I have mainframe automation folks that have been with the company for 30, 40 years, okay? There's all different types of people in any kind of infrastructure organization. So we then went on quite a bit of a marketing blitz, and we explained, hey, you don't even have to code. You don't have to code to do the hackathon. You can come, you might have a great idea, we'll pair you up with some coders, and we'll go from there. And we put forth a few ideas of different things that you could maybe do for your hackathon idea. finally, we were able to, get enough word out there, explain that we were going to have prizes, explain we were going to have free training, and we had a really good event. We are expanding that next year to the entire technology organization. So before the event, we actually had vendor-provided training, okay? As you can imagine, you see on here IBM Cloud. Well, who's doing IBM Cloud? Well, we're a huge IBM mainframe shop, so obviously we work with them a lot to figure out what technologies we can use. And you may not know they are also a Docker partner, and they've had Docker available on their private cloud for quite some time. So anyway, so we had hands-on training before the event, and then during the event, which was on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, with most of the hacking happening Saturday, and then on Sunday, we had the judgment panel. We had vendors there on site assisting people with their technology teams. We had prizes, cash prizes, all kinds of swag, and you can see the different things that we had. We had food and beer. And the winning team actually built something that had SaltStack as the underlying, as part of the underlying mechanism for building VMs on AWS. So here we're talking about an Echo. Hey, please build me a VM. I'm making it stupid, but it's okay. An Echo talking to an Alexa skill, and then that in turn using a Lambda function to talk to SaltStack API and build VMs. We also, this team also delivered monitoring stats with Splunk. It was a really great project, a really great presentation, and kudos to them for that great project. There was many other innovations. There were 15 teams. I listed the things here that I found inspiring to me. The chatbot to answer user questions about what are our standard tools. This is something that the tools team that supports all the monitoring and alerting are constantly asked, how do I set up monitoring on the mainframe? Or, what's our standard for server monitoring or network monitoring or so on. Machine learning to search data for cyber threats. Some Alexa voice commands to provision a new subnet that some network engineers built. SageMaker image recognition. This one's all about when you're coming in the door, can it just check your photo, do an image recognition against our database of people who are authorized to enter the site. And then the last one, if you just join a new company and they have a lot of acronyms, and oftentimes they might have a 3-letter acronym that's completely similar to something that was at your last job, but it means something different completely. So this one I thought was interesting. It's just a chat bot where you could ask questions like, what is blah, 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 and then they would answer those questions. A little bit of feedback that we got from people who attended the hackathon. It was very well received. We're working to expand it out to the rest of the company this spring. And thinking about other ways that we can just inspire people to learn new things and get out of their day job. So that's pretty much it, guys. And hope this gave you some ideas about things you could implement or even encourage your leadership to implement at your company. And thank you for having me.